Okay, 3, 2. And we are live, I believe. Although I don't see this. Oh, there we go. Looks like we're live now. And welcome, everybody. It's Talkin Motorbikes. And I'm on with a mobile Bobby Fong tonight. That's why his screen looks like it's moving around, because dude is actually a working man now. Like, he actually has a day job. Bobby Fong, what is up, buddy?
Dude, thanks for having me, by the way. I'm in an Uber heading to Canada I was just at the champ school doing some Dainese stuff. So sorry if I'm a little glitchy and a little spotty. I was supposed to be past the border by now, but somebody decided to wad one up on the freeway not long ago. So we're in the car still. So sorry about that, but we're live. We're good.
Hey, could you turn your camera sideways? Maybe? Nah, that's kind of shit too. All right. Well,
Back to straight.
let's go back to straight. It's fine.
Okay.
Um, yeah, man. So, dude, you've been racing quite a long time. You're in your 30s now. Like, I kind of remember when you were that talented punk kid at AFM, like a million years ago. Like, how long you been doing this?
I'm 31 now. I've been doing it since my first pro race was '06. I was like 15 years old on an R6 at Laguna Seca. And I remember
Nice.
it was hot. I think that was like the first year of GP, and it was hotter than hell there. It was like, I think they just repaved the track. It was like 115 people were having heat stroke, and we're out there racing an
Oh
R6. And
yeah, that's right. They
remember, it was
heat. Yeah,
boiling.
dude.
It
And the
was
parking
boiling hot
shit.
there.
Yeah, dude.
The pavement was melting. It was just ridiculous.
Yeah, dude. It's I can't believe that was your first pro race weekend. That's hilarious.
Dude, I was 15 years old. We lied about my age. We got in there. And everybody thinks like because I've been around so long. Everybody thinks I'm in my damn 40s. You know what I mean? Like I've been around
It's because you got
so
the
long.
Jason Statham shit going on.
Yeah, dude. I just naturally I wake up like this every day, dude. I haven't used a razor on this scruffy thing in years. I just do a little buzz job and we call it good.
Wow, man, that's
Yeah,
incredible. So,
yeah.
uh, like, when did you get into the motorbike thing? Because I know you started riding and stuff quite a bit earlier than that. I know, like, I think I saw something somewhere that you had like dirt track roots, and I did have Sean Summers tell me that you had some stuff on a little supermoto. So, like,
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm racing obviously since I was 4 or 5 years old. Started out at the Lodi Cycle Bowl. My family still lives, 5 minutes from there. So did the whole dirt track thing. Went through the ranks at Lodi Cycle Bowl. Went to Grand Nationals, and that's how I know a lot of the road racers now, like James
yeah,
Espoles and the Wymans and all that stuff. I raced with them when we were kids in
no
flat
shit.
track, and then yeah, and then a lot of the dirt trackers currently are still doing it. We raced with JD Beach as a kid. There's a whole bunch of people I raced with growing up, um, and we're still doing it. And went through the supermoto ranks, little mini roto. I did the Derby 50 days with Cam Bovier and Elena Myers, and just been
Elena
doing it all,
Myers.
man. Yeah, dude, been doing it all.
Like, I remember hearing about Lodi Cycle because of Tony Meyering, back in the day,
Yeah,
and
there's been a lot of there's been a lot of heavy hitters from there. A
yeah,
lot of heavy hitters from Lodi Cycle Ball.
yeah. So
So
you grow up doing dirt track or whatever, and then how did you like make that transition to road race? Like,
um, well, I basically like since as a kid, I just did another podcast recently too, and I mentioned this as well. And basically, at a young age, me and my dad, we just knew we were going to be road racers.
oh,
We just knew, like literally, everybody was making money at the
you
time
were just
road
biding
racing.
your
Like, so,
time to go road racing,
yeah,
basically. Okay.
yeah, like that was it.
Okay, so just a heads up, Bobby is gonna kind of go in and out a little bit. We're gonna try to pick him back up. He said if he disconnects, he would reconnect, and it looks like he did disconnect there. So hopefully he jumps back on here in a second. Um, yes, yeah, dude, you're disconnected, Bobby. You probably should re-enter, buddy. So let me text him again. Yeah, so it was unfortunate that he he's got to do this whole thing without being connected because he's on the road. He's working his day job at Danese now, so he's got to do all of that. Let's see here. Where is he? He hasn't connected back yet, so I'm gonna give him a couple minutes to jump back on because he's got a good story, and I definitely want to talk to him about riding that Yamaha last weekend. So, but feel free if you guys have questions for him, comment them live here, and I'll get to every question that you guys have, like Ron Burgundy. So as soon as he jumps on, it's on. Um, I don't know. It's so weird. Like he was totally fine, and then we get into it, and he's off. So, oh, it looks like he's trying to get back on. So, but yeah, like I don't, Pinky, I don't. I'm gonna ask him about your question.
Okay, there we go. Can you hear me?
Hey, Bobby.
Hey.
You're, okay, good.
Yeah.
You're back.
So
awesome.
sorry guys. I know. Sorry about the inconvenience. I know it's bad, but I flat track stuff.
Yeah.
So as a kid, I was basically getting my dad, and I remember my dad giving me some advice from Chris Carr. I think it was Chris Carr and his dad at the time, because at the time Chris Carr was trying to do, I think he was racing for Harley or Buell while he was doing Grand National Flat Track, and my dad asked Chris for some advice about, hey, what does he think about me road racing? And obviously Chris didn't do that great in road racing, as I think he didn't do that great. He just told my dad, don't think about it, too much money, it's a waste of time.
Road racing is
road
waste
racing.
of time.
I remember Chris Carr telling my dad that. My dad remembers that to this day. I think
oh my God.
It's Chris or his dad Jerry, but yeah, my dad always still tells that story to this day. So
well, what's weird,
time with road
you know,
racing.
what's weird is you've seen JD. You know, JD had a lot of success road racing, and you know he got that Superbike ride with the Attack team in 19, and since basically 2020 and up, JD's full-time dirt tracker again. Like he's gone full circle, you know.
Yeah, and obviously he's doing great. He's on a great team. He's getting paid pretty good, supposedly, and I think he still misses road racing though. You know, he's a dirt tracker at heart, but I feel like he still wants to do some road racing. And now he's great at it. It'd be good to have him back in the pits. But you know, he's making a living, and at this stage in the game, it's all about making some money, and he's no spring chicken anymore either. I mean, I think he's in his 30s as well. So it's good on him for making some money in flat track.
So, you know, you've ridden a lot of different stuff. You know, I mean, I kind of remember you. Well, I'll share a story with you. I talked to you about it earlier. I was, you know, Yamaha used to pay us to go to Laguna for the GP weekend, and we would set up a little TrackDaz booth in the Yamaha marketplace over there, you know. And it was great, you know, and I remember watching a super sport race with the Yamaha marketing dudes, and you were right there in the front. I was like, hell yeah. And I can remember Mike Akano going, who the fuck is that guy on that orange bike or whatever?
It was that Fong kid.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, that's Fonger. He's like, oh, okay. And then we also watched you throw it away. Like, like you had us all yelling at the TV.
Throw it away. Oh, no, hold on.
No, you did.
Was this in 2012 or was this in 06?
I think it was 2012.
Oh yeah, in 2012 on the mean bike, on the mean motorcycle.
Yeah,
bike.
the mean bike. Yep.
Yeah. No. I definitely knew how to crash.
Yeah.
Up front. I was up front. I was trying. We have to go through that stage. I feel like most people have to go through that stage. There's still people who are still going through that stage. I was known for a crasher for a long time, and but hell, man, I kept getting up. I just kept Marquez in it, dude. Still trying.
Well, you know,
I pissed off a lot of people and made a lot of people broke over the years, but we still had some glimpses of hope and got on plenty of podiums, got some wins, so it was nice.
Dude, I should make a t-shirt out of that. Man. Yeah, I have this like goofy thing where like shit the people say on the show, like we try and make t-shirts out of it. So
dude, I made a lot of people broke over the years, but you know, they hired me to try, and that's what I do, man. People know, like, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, they know if like they're gonna get me, it's like I'm gonna give it all I got, you know what I mean? Like no matter what, I'm gonna give it 110%. So,
I mean, even
like that. Some people just want to finish.
Like even last week when we were talking about you riding the Attack, you know, the the ADR bike,
Yeah.
former attack bike, you're like, yeah, dude, I don't know how it's gonna go, but race 2 is gonna be better. Watch.
Yeah, and honestly, it was for us. It definitely was better. I mean, we had some bad luck. I got, I don't need to be,
No,
talking, negative or anything. But yeah,
let's talk about it. I mean, we'll talk about
no,
it later because we'll get
yeah,
to it,
yeah,
man.
okay,
I don't
yeah,
want to
yeah,
jump the gun too quick yet, but
yeah,
so you rode. I remember you riding that. Oddly enough, one of my staff guys bought that old mean bike from them.
we had
It
a
was
lot of
actually a pretty
success
good
on that thing.
bike. It was
Yeah,
a
no,
really
it was
good bike.
great. It was great. I mean, it was good. I mean, and I should have stayed with them because the next year past that, I went with it was like Triple Crown,
Oh
butted up with
yeah,
Richie Morris, and we lasted one round, and we had like Richard Scamboli doing the electronics.
I
We
remember
had
that.
the old factory Honda boys involved. We had Robert Ward, that's team
Yeah,
manager. Like we had all the heavy hitters, and we go to Daytona. We were racing the Harley class too, the 1200s at the time, and we had,
that's
fuck,
right.
I think we had like 2 rigs, 4 bikes each, full Morelli, and I got promised a lot of things that year. I should have, because Mean offered me a contract after we got a whole bunch of podiums and all that stuff in 2012, 2013. I just saw, I got all these promises and all these deals, and I'm like, all right, well, I should have stayed with Mean because he was going to get a full gravy bike for
Right.
2013. But I didn't want to, at the time, I didn't think that Gravy was going to give us the full works, 600, because why would he give us a full his own team?
Right.
So I went with, Triple Crown and Richie Morris, and we lasted one round, and that was it. That was it. They folded right after that, and I ended
You
up on
know,
Triumph with
it's
Robbie
interesting.
Bobby.
It's interesting you say about the promises, right? The
Yeah,
commitments or whatever that.
yeah.
Isn't it unfortunate that it seems like there's a lot of empty promises in our sport, dude?
Man, the biggest thing that I've learned in the industry, and I love being in the industry, and I've met a lot of people, but I mean, it's kind of turned me sour into a lot of things because talk is cheap. Talk is
Yeah.
cheap. I mean, I've heard so much shit over the years of just like, we're gonna pay you this, or hey, talk to Yamaha to try to race with them over the years. Like, it's probably been like 5 different years throughout my whole career. Raves and all, like,
Yeah, a few
hey,
years ago
we want you
you
to go on
asked
the
me to put a good
list.
you
Yeah, the
you
list
had
of
me to put
who?
a good
Yeah,
word in with Richard,
yeah. I, and
right?
how many times I on the list? I'm like, well, how many people are on the list?
Yeah.
So it's like this game, like things with a grain of salt now. The older you get, the less
Yeah.
you believe these promises, and but fortunately everything all worked out. You know what I mean? That's just life, and everything worked out, and everything happens for a reason. So
Yeah. Oh, totally.
yeah.
Totally. I mean,
So
it's just a lot of that. So you rode that for one round and then what?
I was scrambling right after that. I was Robbie Bobby from Flat Track came approached us. If you ever heard of Robbie Bobby, he's
Hey, just a
we
heads
call him
up,
Robbie.
Bobby, you're
Yeah.
kind of going in and out again,
Okay, now.
so like if you could repeat
Yeah.
that, that would be great.
Okay. Robbie Bobby's been in the flat track industry for a while. He helps out Dalton Gautier on the singles, and he's kind of the goofball of flat track picks, but he means well, and they own D&D
Yeah.
Cycles in Pensacola, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So they came on board, got a Triumph. It was that just came out with that new bike in 20.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we got it was Robbie Bobby, Robert Ward, and my buddy JD Rashid, and we just kind of finished the season out in the 2013. Well, Pride's George latest because we're competing against him in DeSalvo that year.
Yeah.
And in a box van, so it was. I ended up going George right after that, but we did pretty good. 13, we got some podiums on that thing, so it was good. And that
Yeah.
guys were in the 600 class as well.
Are you still working with Rob Ward?
Yeah, he's on my crew chief on the back.
Yeah.
We brought him
Dude,
after,
you
we brought him
should
in after Daytona and changed
you
the game.
You should ask Rob Ward. I have a funny story about being at a Rich Oliver school, and
Hmm.
Rob came out on his little 100, and like I kind of put him into the hay bales.
Uh, I will mention that we talk every other day, so I'll make sure to mention that too.
Yeah, like
He's
we laugh
funny.
about
Yeah,
it. It was like
yeah.
I'm the guy that I'm the guy that got Rich Oliver pissed off at his own school, cursed at us, and basically put us all, my whole group, on timeout and stormed into his house.
Uh, I did the Rich
Yeah,
Oliver School,
that.
and I had a great time. Yeah,
Oh, I did too, man. It was a great
yeah,
time, but I think I was having a little too much of a great time.
yeah. You got to put on timeout, buddy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Like you know you fucked up when you made like I mean, you know how chill Rich Oliver is, right?
Oh
Like
yeah.
that dude
Oh
is
yeah.
super low key, like,
Yep.
but dude, like I'm the guy that like kind of made him crazy and yelled at us and cussed at us and stormed into his house.
Yeah. He moved. I think he has a big setup now, and
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just go. Sorry, just go straight.
he's been kind of doing the mystery school thing basically in his front yard, right? Forever.
Yeah,
So,
he's been. I mean, yeah, it's been a while. I mean, it's. I've learned some stuff. It was me and Stefano Mesa did it at the. I forget what year it was. Right here is good. Straight ahead. Yep. 1 second. I'm just getting out of Uber.
yeah. I gotta love podcasting
Yeah.
with a dude
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
doing an
No.
Uber across the
Thanks, buddy.
country, like
Yeah.
across border. Like that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
No, I'm butted up. I'm at this damn park because I can't cross the border with me. I gotta walk across.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's brutal. Hold on 1 second. Thanks, buddy. It's been real.
Wow. This is actually happening
Yep.
right now, everybody.
See you, man. We're good. Take care. All right. Sorry, guys. All right. We're
Yeah,
good to go.
so you've got Rob Ward working with you. What a guy, dude. Like I saw him at Daytona briefly, and he's like, dude, you got to look at this, and it's like the front tire on the bagger at Daytona. Like,
Oh, dude, those
holy
guys,
shit.
the Indian tires. Holy! I was wondering what they were using, like tire pressure wise and stuff, because those tires just look terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
All right.
um,
So you did that thing that year, and then I don't know, I just kind of remember the lattice thing, and then like you did like a Ducati. Like I
we
don't.
started. I'll go through a rundown with you, my friend. He'll go back memory lane. So let's. So '06, oh 06, my first pro race, but it was on like a AFM team. It was
Yeah.
called Bay Area Riders Forum. It
Oh,
was
you rode for
Barf.
Barf. No shit.
Barf.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, but we changed it because we got they got some sponsors, and they're like, we can't have Barf on the side of your bike. We got to change this name. So they changed it to Netmoto, and it was
Okay.
Netmoto that year. So,
Okay.
anyways, we did that, and then it was safety first. I hired Jim Doyle as a manager when I was like 16 years old. He was like Kenny Roberts Senior's old manager, old Kenny Senior's manager when he was
Yeah.
racing, and the dude was 75 years old when we hired, but he got me on safety first Suzuki in
Yeah.
'07 and '08. So then '07, '08, I was on safety first. Then they folded,
Yeah.
and then I didn't have a team in '09, but I did some one-offs. I did Scotty Van Hock on his R6, and
Yeah.
that was the first year of what was it, DMG or Daytona? It was the
Yeah.
first year of like the rolling starts. We did the rolling starts,
Okay. Yeah.
and we got. I think we didn't get a podium, but we got a few top fives that year. I did like 2 or 3 races with them. We got a few top fives, and then that opened the eyes to Paradigm Yamaha with Perry Melmanchuk, because
Okay.
I think Damien Cuddlin was racing that R6, and that was like a gravy R6. Uh, and I did 2 races on that at the end of the year. And then I was battling on the podium in each round, but I ended up wadding up both races. So, but that was in '09. And then 2010, I did the DNA Ducati.
Yeah.
with Robbie
848, right?
Robertson. Yeah, Robbie
Yeah.
Robertson and who was Mark Crozier. We had some good success on that thing too. Hell, I rode only 1 year. We won some races. We got podiums, and then I still got kicked to the curb for Jake Holden. They hired Jake Holden because they had Bree Poland take over the team, and she had a good relationship with Jake, and I got kicked to the curb for whatever reason. So after winning races and stuff like that, and then 11, I didn't have a ride. I was at home and did construction and put up commercial doors, and was a working kid in Stockton, California.
Wow.
And then Mean Motorsports in 2012. And that's when we had some good success and wadded a lot of stuff up and had some podiums and good
Yeah.
stuff. And then 2013, the Triple Crown. Then they folded. Then I went with Robbie Bobby on the Triumph, and then latest for 14, 15, 16, 17 on the Triumph, and then the Stock 1000
Yeah.
on the
Dude,
Kawasaki.
you podiumed in Superbike on the stock 1000 pile, right?
Yeah, man, that
Yeah.
we did pretty good on that thing. We got that thing working well. Like Robert Ward has been with me for a long time, and
Yeah.
we got that thing working good. Like we podiumed at Coda, Miller, and VIR, and yeah, we had good success on the thing.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you were working with Lenny with the K-Tech stuff with the Cowie, right?
We were
Yeah.
with Lenny from 2000 and we were with Lenny since maybe 15 to 17.
Yeah.
15 on the Triumph. We did great on that, and then I love the K Tech stuff. The K Tech was good.
Yeah.
We worked well.
The
Me and Lenny
K-Tech
worked
was
well.
the K-Tech was awesome if you had Lenny there helping you.
Dude, like
Yeah.
yeah, man, it was good. We did good. Lenny, Robert Ward, and my crew was we had some good. We had some fun. We did have
Yeah.
some fun. Yeah, so it
Like
was good. And
how
then
like
yeah, go.
how was it to be on the stock 1000 bike and podium and Superbike? Like how big
It
of
was
a
like
deal was that to you guys and for you personally and your team back then?
I gotta say, the happiest I've ever been in racing, like the most success, like everything, like the happiest I ever been was getting on the Superbike podium. Even to this day, it's probably like my best feeling I've ever had. It was like at Coda, GP was there on a Kawasaki stock 1000, and we got podium in the Superbike class, and we kept up with Tony Elias and Roger Hayden for 3/4 of the race, and then we won by a pretty big gap. And I just remember like that Sunday after winning both races, I'm just like, man, that was like the happiest days of my life that weekend. It was like in front of everybody on a stock 1000. It was really, really damn cool. So
And for those that don't realize this, like just a refresher on stock 1000 back then, stock 1000 was basically a race within the Superbike race, right?
yeah, it was basically we could do like triple clamps and stuff like that. We couldn't like it was basically a stock like a modified stock 1000, like the stock 1000 current day. We could do a little bit more than that.
Oh, really?
Like
Okay.
I think we can do back then. I think we did triple clamps, and I don't think they could do triple clamps nowadays.
Okay.
But I think motor packages are very similar.
Yeah,
So
I remember like they had to have stock wheels, right? And
we gotta have
then
stock wheels, stock.
so,
We couldn't put like Morelli on. It had to be like the basic
yeah, kit
kit
stuff.
ECU,
Yeah.
yeah, kit stuff, stock swing arm,
Yeah.
no Superbike forks, standard like
Yeah.
regular forks, and but hell, it worked good, man.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you did that Cowie thing for how long?
The Cowie was 16 and 17,
Okay.
and then 18. I went with Hudson Yamaha for
Oh, that's
you know
right. For like 5 minutes.
yeah yeah it was not even half a
A hot
season,
minute.
and
I
it
remember
was
seeing you at Chuck Walla
yeah
on that thing, and you're like,
we
"Yeah, that's all
we
right."
yeah well it was good. We did really good at Chuck Wall.
You set a lap
We
record.
did really good, and then it was Superbike problems after that, man. Like
Yeah,
people know, like you deal with Superbike and you don't have the electronics working properly. It's a
yeah,
nightmare,
yeah,
and it's just like when people think that you're just going to go in Superbike and do good, and they're not real familiar with the electronics, your
Yeah.
hell's coming down on you, my friend.
And they were kind
So
of doing it in house, right? Like
they
those
did
Hudson
everything in
did.
the house.
Yeah.
They did everything, and honestly, we had we had some good runs. Like there was flashes of brilliance on the thing.
Yeah.
Um, but that didn't last too long. Then I
Yeah.
rode the Broster Honda bike.
Oh, that's right. You did
I
you
finished
ride
the
it?
season.
Did you ride after Jake left? Is that what happened or?
No, so Cam P was riding it, and then
Yeah.
he got hurt at Infineon, and
Okay.
I filled in for a round at Pittsburgh, and then it was me and him finished the season on it. I think it was only like 2 races left or something like that, New
Right.
Jersey and Barber. So I did 3 races in total. I finished the last 3 on
Yeah.
there, and then they folded. They
Yeah.
didn't do it again. So um,
I
John
remember the
Ulrich,
articles. I remember the articles like Danny Walker said some stuff
uh,
about having trouble with Morelli and it's just
yeah,
the electronic. He's like, I wish I could just turn all that shit off. Like he was kind of, Danny
yeah,
Walker's kind of old school.
for sure,
Um, and good
yeah,
dude. And then I also
super good
remember
dude.
Richard's rebuttal article, which is also hilarious because that's just how he rolls. Um, but yeah, like how advanced back then were those Hondas, electronic wise and all
Honestly,
that?
the Hondas were good. Like they weren't bad. I mean,
Yeah,
they were just lacking in a few areas at the time. Like the gear, the biggest thing I remember from then was the gear. The gearbox was, and the gearbox was just really. I remember we always had a run of funky gearing. It was like
really.
very long. Like yeah, I just for some reason the gearbox was really funky on the thing from what I could remember because I think it was a stock gearbox or something like that.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, and but the bike was good. I mean, I think it was a little bit down on power, but I mean, overall the team, great atmosphere. It was really cool. I mean, got to do plenty of super camps with D Dub over the time, in 2018. He made me drive that
Yeah.
damn hellhole of a rig he had at the time across country that didn't have any brakes. So did that and then rode for M4 in 2019. It was like 2018. It was like after all this, I'm
Yeah, I
getting
remember
older.
you.
I'm just
Didn't you
like,
take a
I
job
got
at Piaggio or something, selling
yeah,
scooters?
right at the end of 18. It was
You were gonna be a
Piaggio.
scooter salesman.
I was a scooter salesman. I was a scooter salesman. Yeah, I was a sales rep for the Northwest for Piaggio. And then
Yeah.
I asked my boss at the time, my direct boss was like, hey, I'm going to race a load of motorcycles. And he didn't know much about the racing world. And he's like, yeah, no worries. As long as it's not going to affect your job. I'm like, nope, it's not going to affect my job at all. I'm a salesman. So most of the stuff's remote anyways. And then I signed with John Ulrich. I raced for John in 2019 on the 600,
Yeah.
and I
You had a,
remember it was
you had
like,
quite a bit of success on that thing, didn't you?
yeah, we had a great year. And then,
Yeah.
but I was still working for Piaggio when I signed the M4 deal. And then the press release came out, and then Piaggio Group Americas was like, whoa, 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 what is this? And I'm like, what do you mean? I asked permission. They're like, well, you're riding a Suzuki, and they didn't realize, and like it was all over social media. It was like
Yeah.
road racing world, like I signed with Suzuki, and I'm working for Piaggio, so they canned me right then.
Oh man.
They're like, pick and choose.
Naturally.
I'm like,
I mean, how
well,
dare you
pick and
sell
choose.
Suzuki's
Yeah,
on track and try to sell scooters
yeah,
on the weekends? Like, how is
yeah.
that?
Seriously. So they kicked me to the curb. And then, so I raced for John. We won the championship that year. That was good, good
Dude,
year. I mean, man, that
that
was
was epic racing,
battles.
right? That
Yeah, it
was you was it
Hayden,
yeah, Hayden Gillum,
Hayden. I mean, there was
Richie
Richie
Escalante, PJ,
Escalante, Sean, Dylan Kelly,
PJ, right?
PJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Bryce Prince here and there. Like there was some good. Josh Hayes. I mean, there was some. It was good battles. I mean, we had some epic battles that year.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the pace, even to this day, I think our pace that year was still, I don't think nobody's really touched it in sub tracks, like
Yeah.
we pushed us, like the top 5 really pushed each other that year. Like the competition was just like so stacked that year. But we did good. We did good. And then rode the Superbike for M4 2020, had won a few races. That was fun.
I have a 2020 moment with you.
But I have,
No,
talk to me.
no, like actually a
Yeah.
moment with you on track at the Ridge test.
Didn't you say I like try to like take you out or
No,
something
no,
like
no,
that?
no,
Or
no, no,
what
no, not at
was
all.
this?
Okay, so we went into the chicane, and I caught a false neutral when you flicked to the right, and it was right in front of you, and like you whooshed past me, shaking your head, and so
Oh
and
yes.
so like when you and then right after that, I think your motor took a shit, so you had to ride back
Did
in
you
the
run
truck.
by and then wave at me
Yeah,
like
I did, but then when
yeah
you came into the pits, I was like, "Hey, dude, like, sorry, I
yeah
caught a false neutral there. I just wanted to make sure we didn't have to fight or anything."
yeah yeah yeah. Yeah,
And
we
you're
never had to
like,
have a fight in the
"What,
pits.
dude?"
Yeah, like what are you talking about, bro? Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
I actually ran that stupid saying like behind by
yeah,
Josh Hayes at the time because I think
yeah.
you were kind of working with him. I think
Yeah,
you
no,
were,
we worked. Me and Josh worked together for a few years. Yeah,
yeah.
so
So anyway, like that was my like on track with Bobby Fong experience. Like, it was a pretty unique opportunity for me. Richard hauled my bike up there. I got to be like the dude for the day.
I know. I remember vividly
Yeah,
that was a test. It was the test right before we actually raced there.
yeah. And
Yeah,
then, and
so
like using first gear a lot. Like I remember using first gear a lot there.
On the Yamahas, you were a lot. On the Suzuki's, we
Yeah.
never touched first gear. But I mean, hell, on the Yamaha, you're there half the track you're in first gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was good
And
fun,
I
man.
think I think that test was the first time anybody had ridden on that chicane. It was like brand new. There was no paint on the curbing. It was like brand
No, it
new,
was
right?
fresh. Yeah,
Yeah.
fresh press.
Yeah.
So.
So,
No, good times, man. And then yeah, M4 2020, 2021, and then rideless for Superbike in 2022. Got to the baggers.
yeah, you're a
Did the
bagger dude now,
baggers.
right? Like you're a bagger
Well,
hooligan
I'm
guy now, right?
easy turbo. I'm back in Superbike now too.
Yeah,
So
I know. And I'm stoked for you about that, by the way.
yeah,
But like
yeah.
you kind of are a bagger scumbag. Like you
No,
are.
I know.
Like
No,
you're a bagger
now
guy.
we're Bagger Nation. Bagger Bob, they call me. They
Yeah.
call me in their ride because I hang out with their ride kid at the track, and I always pit next to him. So I'm like Bagger Bob and Silent Bo. His name is Bo. So I think it was Corey Alexander and James Rispoli nicknamed us Bagger Bob and Silent Bo. So
Nice.
yeah, we got our little
That's
nicknames at the track. I got so many nicknames at the track. I got Foggles, Bobby Bong, Fonger.
You want to hear? I had a
Yeah,
nickname. Somebody gave me a nickname years ago. Actually, I think Benny Senior gave me this. He called you Ping Pong.
but dude, I honestly, there's so much shit nicknames out there for me right now. It's crazy. There's Bob. There's so much shit out there.
Wow,
Um,
man.
and then since I've been riding with Roland Sands and that crew, they got a whole bunch of nicknames for me too. Foggles, Fobby Bong, Foggy Goggles. Like there's
There
so
you go.
much shit.
Right on.
So
So
good times.
how is it riding the bagger, man? Like being, everybody I talk to says they're fun to ride.
They're fun. Honestly, it's fun. It's a wet
Yeah,
noodle. It's fun.
wet noodle.
Yeah, it's just a wet noodle. Um, you could push them. You could push those things.
Yeah,
It's you can get away. You can get away with some stuff on those things for sure. But they also could bite. They
yeah,
could bite. But now, like the performances and the technology and everything's getting so advanced on the things. Like they're getting pretty loose. We're breaking the tires loose left and right. Like grip is a big factor on those things and backing it in. Like they're a proper motorcycle, but
yeah.
650-pound motorcycle,
Right.
so and
We were
it's
at
super bike racing, man.
we were at the Button Willow test, and you were. I think it might have been your first test on the bike for this year, right? Or
Well, so we did Daytona and that
oh
was a
yeah, it was
disaster.
right after
And then
Daytona. Yeah.
we did Daytona and that was a disaster. And then we uh hired Robert Ward and we're like, man, we have to have a test on
Yeah,
this bike before we I told the team, I was like, hey man, we cannot ride this bike unless we test. Like we have
yeah,
to test this thing. So we hired Robert Ward and he's been a game changer. It's been a game changer. I mean,
yeah,
it's been good. So we tested a whole bunch of stuff. And it's just like I'm really particular when it comes to like the front of the bike. Like just if the front of the bike is not comfortable and I just have a weird setting that I use in the front
yeah.
and he knows what I like and he knows my terminology when I talk about things. So yeah, he's been a game changer and we had some success this last round we did. So I'm
I
gonna be
did.
doing triple
I
duty at Laguna.
I did come over and high five you after you outbrake Declan on his Moto2 bike into turn one.
I
right?
made sure of it. I was like, come on,
Oh
man.
man, I
Let's
was
break
like,
this here.
dude.
Yeah. You can break hard on those damn things.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like they're proper. I mean, if anybody could get a chance to ride a proper bagger, like a built one,
Yeah.
like they should get a chance to it because you can haul some ass on them.
Yeah.
So
So
they're fun, and
I mean,
yeah, they're good.
you're riding a Roland Sands Indian, right?
Yeah, no, Roland Sands Indian. Um,
And you're doing
so
Hooligans too. It's like, what bike are you on in there?
well, I don't want to do Hooligans, but I think I'm done. Well, I'm done with the Hooligans. I'm not doing
Oh, okay.
Hooligans at Laguna. Yeah, it was more of a favor for Roland Sands because it's his
Okay.
class and stuff. So, yeah, the Hooligans. I was riding the Indian on that one too. But
The FTR or
FTR. Yeah, so
okay.
no more Hooligans, but baggers and Superbike.
So why
So
didn't you want to ride Hooligans?
we just I don't know. It just wasn't me. I just didn't want to. Sorry, I just lost you here. Okay, we just didn't test, and it was kind of. I have a lot on my plate already,
Yeah.
and I got the Superbike, and the Dainese. And honestly, my job is one of my priorities too. That's what's really paying my bills.
Yeah.
So
Well, I remember
yeah,
at the end of the Suzuki thing, you had a Chevy truck that had Suzuki real big on the side, and
yeah.
you were doing schools and stuff.
I'm getting harassed by Border Patrol, so hold on.
Uh-oh. Wow, that's legit border control. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, it's legit. Here we got a
Th-
vehicle here now. They don't play
Oh,
around.
this is
Yeah,
happening.
I told you, dude.
The Canadians,
So
dude.
that dude,
I
they
mean,
were
they're messed
unreal.
up anyway, dude. They put like gravy and shit on French fries, bro. Like that, like I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, no, dude. Honestly, like, yeah, my old lady's from Canada, so dude,
Oh, really?
coming to Canada. This is the part where I used to go to visit her during COVID, and this was like the mutual ground. She couldn't come to the U.S., I couldn't come there, so everybody would camp out in tents here for the day, and
Huh.
like a prison visit.
Oh,
That's crazy. Yeah,
okay.
you get the lesson. Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. So
But yeah, so you at the end of the Suzuki deal, like you still had a pickup truck and you had a GSXR 1000 stalker, and like I had set up with you to do some one-on-one with some people, and then you're like, fuck man, like I don't even have a bike anymore. I got to give this thing back, So
yeah, I was trying to make some extra. The M4 and Suzuki gave me the bike to make a little extra dough on the side,
yeah,
and which was good because I coached plenty of people and helped some people out and kept me on track, and that was good. And then I had to give it back because obviously I wasn't racing with them anymore, so I
right.
gave that thing back. But yeah, that was good, and yeah, I
Then you
learned a lot.
took a
And I
day job, right? You went to my buddies at
Alpine
Alpine
Stars,
Stars, yeah.
yeah, Alpine Stars. So
Dude, when I
that
found
was
out you moved to Dade East, I was like, "What? Didn't you just start at Alpine Stars?" Like,
yeah, Gabrielle. I didn't even know that I was getting a job at Alpine Stars because how it kind of yeah, you can go, yeah. At the time, um, I text Heath. It was right after 2021. I text Heath from Alpine Stars. I'm like, hey man, is there a job position open at Alpine Stars still? And um, and he was like, yeah, I'll put you at the front of the list if you want the job. So fast forward like a month later, I'm in my kitchen at home. I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't have a ride. I don't have a job.
yeah.
He texted me like, hey, are you gonna be at Oakland Supercross?
You're like, "What?"
And I'm like, so in my mind, I'm like, I could. I was like, what, do you want to hang out or something? I was like, yeah, I'll be there. Like, cause I was already like kind of on the fence about going already. And then he was like, well, come to Oakland Supercross. I'm like, all right, I'll go. And he got me a ticket. And then next thing you know, I'm texting him. I get there the next day and I'm texting him and I'm like, hey, here. And he's like, okay, well, Danielle is going to meet you at the gate. And so I'm like, all right. So I still don't know what the hell is going on. I'm thinking he's there. Right? It's the weirdest thing. And
Yeah.
so I get there, and then Danielle at the time that was working for Alpine Stars, a little short gal. She's like, I was like, hey, she's like, hey, Bobby. I'm like, hey, how's it going? She's like, I was like, where are we going? What's going on? She's like, oh, you're having a meeting with Gabrielle on his motorhome. I'm like, what? And like, I didn't prepare for that. Like, I know nothing about this. Like, I'm just wearing regular clothes, going there not prepared anything. So next thing you know, I'm in a full-on job interview in this motorhome. 10 minutes later,
Wow.
I get the proposal. You got to move to Southern California in 2 weeks. I'm like, holy shit. Okay. So I had to get my stuff together, move to Southern California. Thank God my mechanic from my good buddy and my mechanic from Suzuki, Cody, let me move in for a few months. And then I found a place in Redondo and did that and raced the baggers. He let me race the baggers that year, but it was obviously only lasted 1 year. He
Yeah.
didn't, let me race the following year, and had to, get a job at Dainese, and it's been pretty good, smooth sailing so far.
Right on. I think, I mean, do you think their intention was that they thought you were done racing? Or,
Yeah, they did, and they did, and I thought I was done racing too. Really, I mean,
yeah.
and then it's like all of a sudden they're like the bagger thing comes about, and then the bagger thing was kind of, it wasn't as popular as what it is now, and then
Yeah.
it was like, hey, you could race this, and you could win this money, and then you could do this, and I'm like, fuck, okay, well, I could still do my job, and I'm providing for Alpine Stars. Like, I'm not fucking up my job. Like, everything's good. Like, I'm not slacking. So I thought it was all good. And then fast forward for 2023, it was like, nope, pick your job or Alpine Stars. And I'm like, okay, well, I got a lot to think
Bye.
about. So
Yeah.
I mean, so I ended up picking the job, and then fast forward, it didn't work out, and then I got a job at Dainese. So
Wow.
and now I'm racing and doing that. So yeah.
Wow, man. That's
So
that's
a
uh
lot
that's that's
a
really
lot of
something.
backstories, my friend. Yeah,
Yeah,
a
dude.
lot of
Yeah.
backstories.
It's
I
like,
might lose you here, by
we
the
know a
way.
lot. We say that again.
If I lose you here, it's just because I'm crossing from Washington to Canada. My phone switches to Canadian, so I'll call you back if I lose you here. But I'll keep talking until I lose you.
Yeah,
So
no worries.
yeah,
So,
so
you've had quite the career, and then now you're kind of doing this. You got this another chance to ride a
I'm the
superbike.
events. Yeah, I'm the events coordinator for Dainese. I'm a bagger Bob for the Rolling Sands, and now I'm riding for Aussie Dave in the R1. I don't like we just it's kind of a handshake deal and just go race by race. And the ridge was good. I mean, I thought the ridge was good. We improved. I didn't have big expectations. One, because I haven't rode a superbike in over a year.
Yeah,
I've been riding a bagger. I'm still fit. Like, I still train, do all the same things. It's just been it was different, like we go into it, and the bike is completely capable. Like, the team was awesome. Everybody was good. I just was trying to get used to. I was just trying to get used to a setting that I'm not familiar with, and
yeah,
I wasn't familiar with the electronics, and it just took me a while to really trust the electronics, really. And
yeah.
it took me a lot longer than expected, because in my mind, I'm used to um, just using throttle more. You know what I mean? Even
Right.
on the Suzuki, you still got to have some throttle control, and
Yeah.
um,
On the
so
Yamaha,
that
it's like
was
you just stick the thing at the apex,
yeah. And
basically,
it was
kind of,
just it
right?
was it was foreign to me, so
Yeah.
I'm still getting used to it. I'm still adapting to it. But the bike was completely capable. We dropped time every session. And race 2, we had some mechanical, but I mean, we were doing before we had the mechanical. I was doing basically podium pace, like on the cusp of the podium, that podium battle,
Yeah, you were
with passing
41s.
people.
I mean, you went
Yeah,
41s.
41s. That was yeah,
I,
that
I
was
think I
podium
think you went
pace.
41s
So
on Saturday too, but I think it was because you were cutting the chicane.
no, I did 40. I did 40. I did
Oh,
40.
is that
So that
right?
was
Okay.
yeah.
Sweet.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I knew I was hitting false neutrals. Everybody was all pissed off at me. Like, dude, I can't help it, man. I
You're
can't
not
make
used
the
to
turn.
you're not used to going down to
Yeah.
first gear, right? Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
dude. First gear, every first year turn one. And I
Like how
think the
many
leverage is,
how many times per lap are you using first gear?
oh man, there was one, two, three, four. I mean, there's like at 6 or 7, 8 corners that you're in first gear on the damn thing.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
So
dude.
yeah. So it was wild, but I had a good experience. My upper body haven't seen that type of work in a while, because
Yeah.
the bagger, your arms are so high up, and it's just different muscles.
Yeah.
And I was riding kind of tense like the first day. I was like, after, we get after the first session, I'm like, man, like, I haven't used these muscles in a while.
Yeah.
Like, I was honestly concerned about arm pump. but I didn't get it. Knock on wood, I didn't get it or anything like that. So my cardio was good. It was just like my muscles and my upper back, and I'm a bulldog upper body rider, so I'm like I should be working on my lower body a little bit more on the bike, but I just was kind of wearing my upper body out. But yeah, just some muscles I haven't used in a while.
Yeah.
So
So, I think Jake actually went faster last year on that bike than he went on the bike this year.
I think the pace. I didn't ride the track last year, but I think the pace was overall faster. I don't know if it was just the conditions last year, but the conditions are mint this year.
Yeah.
Um, and I think they just paved it. They just repaved it. I'm not really sure, but I
I
know the
don't
pace was a little
I
bit
don't
slower
think
this year.
I think the pace was slower this year overall.
No, it was.
And I
Everybody's
think
pace was a little
I
bit slower, it
think
seemed like.
like I mean you're obviously kind of brand new back to Superbike, but
Yeah.
from what I understand, I think there's something with the tires. The new tires are not they're not as good maybe or
You
something.
know, so the first time I tried the tires on the bagger, I was telling everybody, I'm like, man, I just like, it's not the same for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not like I don't like them. I was just like, they're just not the same amount of grip to me and how I ride.
right.
And
Right.
everybody was telling me like, what? Nobody's saying that. This was like in the early stages of it, like in the beginning of the year before it was like mandatory tire.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I was like, I just don't have the same grip. And now everybody's saying the same thing that I said from the get go. Like
Yeah.
it's just not the same.
Yeah.
Um, so but I'm still using the same, like at the Ridge. I was probably one of two or three riders to run the extra soft front. I just make it work, and that was pretty good for me. That was at a zero front. Now they're named differently. That's like a 03 or 5 or something like that. But I still
Well,
made the
they used to have like a four digit number or something, right?
yeah. It was like 0019 or
Yeah.
2229. I don't yeah. It was different numbers 129. So but yeah, I still made the softer tire work, and I just gotta adapt more to the bike myself, and I
Yeah.
think I gotta at Laguna we're gonna try to change some stuff that fits me a little bit instead of more adapting to something that for somebody else. But it's good. I mean, the bike is amazing. The crew is amazing. Richard and the whole crew was helping us, whenever we needed help. So it was good.
Richard said something about you saying that the seat felt a little high or something.
Man, I sat on the
The
bike.
bike does sit
Um,
high, doesn't it? Like
so
it's
Nick Sealing, so Dave has a different seat and tank.
yeah. Yeah.
Um, and they made their own, which was good. It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
Nothing bad about it. But for me, it was like the perfect example was like they would take the bike off the stand. I might lose you here for a second, so I'll call you in 2 minutes. So just
Yeah.
keep talking. I'll call you right back.
Wow, he wasn't bullshitting. Wow, that's an unfortunate disconnection. I want to see what he had to say about that. You know, Bearded Jixer, I did a lap time analysis and with Richard a couple on Monday, and yeah, it looks like it was a little bit slower, except for obviously the Bobby did the one lap that was the 39 whatever, but it looked like the pace was similar to last year, but it wasn't the same. And I think you could, if you look at the analysis from race 2 last year versus this year, you'll see that last year it took Jake longer to get from the 40s to the 41s. Does that make sense? So, I think there's something to be said about that. And Bobia was kind of like the same thing. It was like boom, boom, boom early on, and then like 41s after that, and then like 42 kind of at the end. So I don't know. I don't know what's up with that. Hopefully, Bobby crosses the border here in a little bit, and we can get back going because this is a pretty good chat. And I'm looking at the comments here. Pinky, I don't think he rode for Yosh, dude. I think he rode for M4, both in the super sport category and Superbike. So he wasn't there. And Bearded Jixer, I don't think he's coming back to Suzuki. Um, I don't think that's going to happen. It
Can
looks
you hear
like
me?
looks like he's having fun riding that Yamaha.
Okay.
So,
Can
oh
you hear
look,
me?
you're
There we
back.
go.
So
I'm back in. I'm in Canada.
yeah. So I'm kind of going through some of the comments here real quick. I know we've kind of paused your story, but let's kind of go through some of these questions. Ty Bankford says, let's make this entertaining because he's suffering on the bike. I don't know if he's suffering on his pedal bike, stationary or whatever. Oh yeah, Gil saying like 2019 was that crazy year where there was water bottles getting tossed at people. Shit, I don't know. He got disconnected again. It looks like I don't know. Yeah, so I guess I'll ask the rest of these questions when Bobby gets back online. Um, hang on a second. I'm gonna text him and be like, dude, try again. Dude, try again. This is the problem with doing the internet thing over the phone while the dude's like on the move. That's just how it's gonna go. But I'll try to answer the rest of the questions that I can answer. But yeah, Gil, I totally remember the water bottle thing. I think that might have been. I think that was SDK's dad threw a water bottle at Hayden Gillum. That was pretty funny. And I think he got banned from the pits or something. Or banned from the rounds after that. Um, Pinky wants to know if Bobby rode the Yamaha before race day, and I don't think he did. But I'll ask him the other two questions that you had about what the feel of the thing and what he thinks he needs to go to the front. Probably seat time, I'm guessing, but we'll ask him. Um, Dude, he's in Canada. Bearded Jixer. Of course, he needs a jacket. He's in Canada. Plus, he's like super skinny, so he's got to deal with that. Let's see, where's he at? Yeah, like he may have. Hope we didn't lose him. Um, Usually, I would just go ahead and reschedule this, but he's got some interesting shit to say, and it was going so good. Um, it doesn't seem like he's going to ride before Laguna, Pinky, because they just rode the thing this past weekend, and they're at Laguna not this coming weekend, but next weekend. So I don't know. I'll ask him once he joins back on. Um, and I don't know. Did Chris say he wanted Bobby back, or I don't remember that exactly. And the fact that Bearded Jixer's calling it the R1 pile, shit, bro, really? um, yeah, I really got nothing. Nobody wants to hear me. I'm just some track day dude. So hopefully Bobby joins up. I'll just give him one more minute or so and then see how it goes. Um, it must be signals pretty shit in that 10-foot space that he's standing in Canada. So hopefully you can get that sorted. All right. Why make a comeback now? That's a good question, man. That's a good question. Um, Sounds like he's still got that fire in his belly, Because, dude, like 2 years ago, he was talking about, yep, time to hang it up, trying to be a grown up. And then all of a sudden he's racing again. But when I talked to him last week before riding the thing, he was super stoked. I talked to him and he's like, yeah, man. He's like, I don't know how this is going to go, but, you know, race 2 should be better. And it was, dude. Like he went 41s by himself, and it was like only a couple of days on the bike. So hopefully he gets that thing going and starts ripping. I don't know, man. I might have to disconnect this one, guys. I'm giving. Let's just call him. See if I can. We'll call him on speakerphone. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, dude. So I don't know. He must be out. So I think I'm gonna have to call this. So that's unfortunate. We're a little bit under an hour, so maybe we'll catch him again after Laguna. Because I'm sure he's got some cool shit to say, and maybe after Laguna he'll have a different perspective on the bike and that kind of stuff. So thank you guys for watching, and sorry it's come to this, but unfortunately Bobby's on the move, and you got to just roll with how it rolls. So um, I'm gonna sign off right now, and then we'll pick it up another time. Thanks.